What's up, everybody? This is Jeff McMahon with Exposed Turnbuckle. Just finished watching Monday Night Raw. Obviously, this is the big night after WrestleMania. I have a love-hate relationship with this crowd. Obviously, when you watch it on TV, you want the crowd to be hot. It really puts over the matches. But sometimes they just distract from the matches, which is a little disappointing, and that happened a few times tonight. Just quickly going over it, it started with a good tribute to The Undertaker, well-deserved, as I mentioned in our WrestleMania review show, which you can check out on our channel. That is up and running. Definitely really cool. Nobody deserves that kind of respect more. There was about a good 6-7 minutes where they just chanted Undertaker continuously. Then you started to see the Undertaker chants dueling with Roman sucks chants, and then Roman Reigns comes out to very audible boos, and there were many chants that are not PG friendly. A fuck you Roman chant. There's a lot of delete chants. An asshole chant was at one point. This went on a good 10 minutes. Roman Reigns, every time he put the mic to his mouth, there would be boos. There would be another chant, be a shut the fuck up chant. I would say, if they do another WWE 24 special on the night after WrestleMania, I think we can pretty much guarantee this part of it might not be highlighted too much. But I'll tell you what, Roman Reigns had them in the palm of his hand. He just played them like a fiddle throughout that, so I'm going to give him credit on that. All he did was wait for them to wear themselves out, and then he just said, "This is my yard," and he put the mic down and walked out. That was great. The fans were pissed, and it was awesome to watch, honestly. I thought it was hilarious. So that was how it started. It's the only time they mentioned, or didn't mention, they mentioned Roman Reigns later on, but it's the only time we saw Roman Reigns in the night. Got it out early. The fans got their chants in, so that was the opening of the night, so it was about a 15-minute promo. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. The next match was actually for the Raw Tag Team Championship. It was a rematch. Anderson and Gallows cashed in a rematch clause against the Hardy Boys. The Hardys got an introduction from Lillian Garcia instead of their music just playing first. But regardless, the Hardy Boys music hit and the crowd popped pretty good to a chorus of delete chants. Pretty good match. Nothing crazy. I gave it a C. It was just decent. Obviously, the Hardys were going to win this one. I think everyone kind of knew that was going to happen. So, Hardys win, and actually there is a number one contenders match later on in the show to determine who the Hardys will be defending their titles against. The next segment was Neville facing Mustafa Ali. Neville did a quick promo on Aries saying there's going to be a celebration on 205 Live. Mustafa Ali interrupted the promo. The match began. This was a really good match. And throughout the match, the fans, this is where I was talking about where they distract. They just were chanting for a beach ball throughout this match. Neville was playing it off like he was getting frustrated, and but it was really distracting because you would see them doing spots, and then all of a sudden you see all the fans looking to the off screen to the right. It was really stupid in my opinion. It's a fucking beach ball. We've seen them. Like, who cares? It's disappointing because I thought these two, they had a great 205 Live match, and I think they did it again. The match itself, I gave a B. I thought it was really good. And it's kind of funny, the fans who bitch and moan that they underutilize Neville all this time, and then he has a really good match, and they're talking about a fucking beach ball. It's like, well, like, they're trying to give you some good stuff with Neville, and he's been great as a heel, and then you care about a ball. So, I mean, that part I didn't like. This is where that love-hate comes in that I was talking about. Either way, it was a good match. Ali went for an inverted 450 and missed. Neville was going for the Red Arrow. This was a really good thing for me. He knows the fans love the Red Arrow move because it's a flashy move, and he was going for it, and then he stepped down to troll the fans a little bit, and then he hit the Rings of Saturn submission for the win. So that was a good heel moment by Neville. So that was a good match. Next up, they hyped up Vince McMahon arriving. Vince McMahon came out to do a couple announcements. First off, he announced that there's going to be a superstar shakeup next week. So the new our WWE draft. I'm sorry. That will be next week, which is expected whenever they do the roster split. That is to be expected to happen, and after WrestleMania is a pretty good time to do it. They actually chanted "Roman sucks" at Vince, which was pretty funny. And he announced that Steph will miss some time after going through a table, which resulted in a yes chant and a delete chant, which was the delete chant was very popular tonight, so that was interesting. So there was the draft, and I'll actually talk about that at the very end of this video very quickly. And he also announced a new GM, and it was someone who was inducted to the 2017 Hall of Fame. And then Teddy Long's music hits, and that was a nice little troll job there too. Vince said, "No, it's not you, Teddy," and then he announced Kurt Angle as the new GM, which was expected by a lot of people. Angle kept it short and sweet, said, "Great to be back on Raw," gave his tagline of "It's true, it's damn true," and then he walked out. But it's good. I think it's definitely good. And actually, he did a really good job tonight. He had a lot of one-liners. He had a segment with Enzo and Cass, where every time they did their little "you can't teach that," he would have a little one-liner there that would make me laugh. And then they did the SAWFT soft. And he's like, "Well, that's not how you spell it," which was really funny to me. He's doing a good job. He's always been good at that little one-liner comedy thing, and I think this will be a good place for him here as Raw GM. And it's kind of funny that the two GMs of Raw and SmackDown are two guys that everyone wants to see wrestle. It's a little mean, but it's what it is. Next up, the New Day had an open challenge, and then they called out any team who thinks they can compete with the New Day because they were a little upset they didn't have a match. And then out comes the Revival to a huge pop, and I'm pumped because I love this team on NXT. I was hoping they went to SmackDown, but if they get used right and with the draft, it'll be okay if the Revival's there. And this was a good match. By the way, there's another commercial in this match, and if that marked 3 straight matches. There was actually a commercial in every single match of the card tonight, if you were keeping track, and that is a little disappointing. I hate when it cuts a match midway, and they did it every single match, so that's a little disappointing. But the story of the match was they worked on Xavier Woods. They took Big E out and then beat Xavier with the Shatter Machine. And then after the match, they attacked Kofi to prove that they're in business. They're making a statement, so that was cool. So it looks like they're really going to make the Revival a tough team in the division. So we'll see what that happens. I gave the match a B-. It was pretty good. Then next up for matching was Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Dana Brooke versus Nia Jax, Charlotte, and the return of Emma. Emma got a pretty good pop now that she's not Emelina, which for the better. Emma called out Bayley to try to prove herself. Basically, it ended with a Banks statement on Charlotte. Sasha Banks got the win, which is good. She needed to get a win eventually. It was average. It was like a C. Good news. Basic story of it, and Emma's back. Sasha Banks got her victory. And then at post-match, Charlotte was frustrated, pushed Emma and Nia Jax. Nia Jax then destroyed Charlotte, telling her not to touch her like that ever again, blah, blah. That was basically the story. Nothing much here. It was just an average 6-woman match. And then there was a backstage segment where they announced Sami Zayn versus Jinder Mahal, which is a waste of my time. Then Brock Lesnar came out with Paul Heyman. Every time they mentioned Goldberg, loud boos. It's funny how much he fell, because at the beginning it was such a crazy pop for Goldberg, and now it's, oh, Goldberg, get the hell out of here. So that's what happens when you don't wrestle. You just do 2 moves at a time. So, I mean, the crowd definitely turned on Goldberg here. Actually, Heyman even said you won't see Goldberg around anymore, and then there were more yes chants and a thank you Brock chant. But then they went to the future. So they asked about Brock's new challenges, mentioned the Hardy Boys at one point, which got a pop because they are the hot act right now. Finally, he went to the direction saying we need to talk about the 2 and 23 and 2, which got some boos. And then he said the 2 need to go one-on-one, referencing Roman Reigns, to determine whose yard it really is. The crowd responded with, "We want Balor," which really tells they just want nothing to do with Roman Reigns. But that's the crowd. They're going to be very vocal this night. So that's what makes it exciting, the Raw after Mania, is the fans are very vocal about what they want. It just might not happen. Anyway, Braun Strowman comes out, and then he just walks away from Lesnar after a stare down. They are really just booking him as a coward, and it makes zero sense to me. I just don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. He's a monster, and you're booking him to run away from all these guys. The fans even called him a pussy. I saw that on Twitter. Like, and by the way, thanks a lot, John Cena, for bringing that word pussy into WWE. Now everyone's using it. This PG era has just gone to shit. But basically, Braun Strowman just walks away. I don't know what they're doing with him at this point. I have no idea. But I'm predicting a Lesnar Reigns. I predicted that before. I think that's the direction they're going to end up going. Maybe sooner than later, actually. So, then there was a backstage segment with Chris Jericho. And they announced Kevin Owens versus Jericho at Payback. And then KO, as Jericho was going to put the tip of KO's finger on the list, KO and Samoa Joe double-teamed, attacked him out back, knocking him out of the tag match later on, and I'll get to that. Then there was the number 1 contender tag match between Enzo and Cass and Sheamus and Cesaro. The fans were singing a Sheamus and Cesaro song throughout the match, so they were actually the more over team tonight. There were a lot of botches in this match, so it kind of knocked it down. It was very, very average. I gave it a C-. Sheamus and Cesaro won, so they are the new number 1 contenders against Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. I don't know when that match will take place, probably at Payback. Then there was Sami Zayn and Jinder Mahal. This was really quick. I did an NA grade because it was just that quick. No one really cared. We're going to move past it. Sami Zayn won with a Helluva kick. That was it. Then finally we have the tag match. Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens come out, and then Seth Rollins come out. And then finally the lights go black and the return of Finn Balor. As I predicted in the WrestleMania review show, go look it up on our channel. It's in there. I said, mark it down. Tonight, this will be the tag match. And I was 100% right. Finn Balor is back. And a little awkward teaming with the guy who injured him. But WWE likes to tell you to forget the storyline. So, it is what it is. Another commercial after the entrances. Interrupting. At least they did it after the entrances this time, not in the middle of the match. It was a good match, actually. I really enjoyed it. There was a couple good spots there. Eventually, Finn Balor hit the coup de grace on Kevin Owens for the win. And that's how Raw went off the air, with Seth Rollins raising Finn Balor's hand. I gave it a B. It was a really good main event, in my opinion. I enjoyed it. Overall, I gave the show a 6.5 out of 10. Possibly a 7. I could go as high as a 7 because there were some decent storylines, some good promos. The matches just weren't up to par, so it knocked it down a bit. But with the return of the Revival, or the debut of the Revival, and the return of Finn Balor and Emma, there were some good moments there. Obviously, the Hardys being on the show, and the fans, they do add to it when you make noise. So even though I don't like some of the things they do add to it. So overall, it was a 7, I thought. Going on to the draft really quick, I was thinking about it throughout the show of who I thought I would want to see. And if you're watching, leave comments in this video of who you think should go or should switch shows. I thought New Day would be a very prime example to go to SmackDown. The tag division is lacking there. And with the debut of the Revival and the return of the Hardys, the tag division is starting to get crowded on Raw. So I think New Day actually going to SmackDown would be very good for that division as well as the New Day. I thought about Sasha Banks to SmackDown just to switch up the women's divisions a little bit. I don't know from SmackDown who should go to Raw. I've been thinking about it really quickly, but those are a couple that I thought of. If you have some that you think, leave some comments on these videos, and we'll see what happens next week. And we got SmackDown tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we see the debut of Nakamura. He wasn't here tonight, so I got to imagine he's going to SmackDown at this point. But it was a decent Raw. It was fun for what it was. I think a lot of us are really tired from this weekend, so hopefully we have one more night and then we can get some rest. So check out our other videos. Subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching this review. This is Jeff, and you guys have a good one. See you tomorrow.